traders, FS Speculator here. Today is Wednesday, so happy hump day, and it is August 20th already. So the slow crawl of August continues. Some of the dollar pairs have been extremely range bound for the last couple of weeks, but that is very common in August. We really have to come to the realization that a very high percentage of the world is on vacation this month, especially people that don't live in America. Americans don't really take that many vacations in August, but the rest of the world definitely does. So that is part of the reason why the markets are very rangy sometimes during these August months. So anyways, the US dollar, I mean, even though it's kind of rangy, so last week, if you saw my videos, last week I had the US dollar analysis set up like this. I had a possible ABC already complete. Now, I was saying last week that if this right here really is the end of the correction, then it needs to go down and break structure before we get any big pullbacks. And we did not break that structure, did we? We ended up starting a pullback before with the break of structure. What does that tell me? That tells me that this right here is probably not the continuation of the downtrend that I was expecting it to be. And last week in our live Zoom meeting, we spent quite a bit of time talking about the US dollar index because in my members, we do two live Zoom meetings every week on Tuesday and on Friday. And it's really a good chance for us to kind of all put our heads together and try to figure out what these patterns are. And we spent quite a bit of time last week talking about what we thought the US dollar was going to turn into if it does turn up. And I still think it's very likely a WXY. I just think that now that this turned up, it cannot be the end of a correction. Most likely, we are still in the wave Y. And it kind of makes sense that the summer months would be just one big old giant overlapping WXY corrective pattern. Because, like I said, many people go on vacation during the summer, and that's probably a good reason why you get this very overlapping, very corrective, very big WXY pattern. Hey, Skywick, how's it going, buddy? Nice to see you. Hey, Yenberry. If anybody has any requests, definitely put them in the chats. I'll be more than happy to look at it. Anything you want, including forex, indices, stocks, crypto, pretty much anything. So, anyways, I want to start off by analyzing this U.S. dollar index because we are going to start using the analysis that we came up with last week with the help of Philip and a few other people in the group. Now, I think it's a big beneficiary to change colors a little bit here. So the impulsive move is going to be yellow, right? If I think when I did this in the Zoom meeting last week, it really kind of cleared it up because it's really easy for you to see what I'm talking about. So we have an impulsive move here, we have an impulsive move here, and then in the middle of that impulsive move, we have a three-wave pullback, right? And then over here, we have an impulsive move here, and we have an impulsive move there. And then in the middle, we have a 1, 2, 3-way pullback, as you can see. So we have impulsive, corrective, impulsive, impulsive, corrective, impulsive. Now, like I said last week, I was saying, oh, this is oh, let me change colors again. I was saying that this is the impulsive, this is the impulsive, and this was the corrective. But the fact that that corrective was an impulsive move too was, I think, what kind of threw us off a little bit. So more than likely, this is a running flat for the wave B, and that's why it looks a little odd. So we have impulsive up, and then most likely we have another impulsive up forming now, and in the middle, this is what I would consider a running flat because it's a higher high wave B and a higher high wave C compared to the wave A. So changing the colors like this, I think really kind of makes it stick out because we're always trying to figure out where's the impulsive moves, where are the corrective moves. The yellow is the impulsive, the pink is the corrective. And, a WXY is basically just a 333 pattern. So if I change back to this, so you got three waves up for the W, you have three waves down for the X, and now we have three waves up for the wave Y. So more than likely, this is an A of Y, this is a running flat for the wave B of wave Y, and this is a wave C of wave Y. So that's my US dollar analysis. If I think that the US dollar is going to go up, probably for a decent amount of time. How long did this wave A take? In the time scale, it took about 15 trading days. So about 3 weeks it took. So about 3 weeks it took for this move to play out for the wave A. So you would expect something very similar for the wave C. So you would probably expect about a 15-day move, maybe give or take a few days. That puts us until the end of August. So you're talking about maybe like the beginning of September was when we would potentially would have the continuation of the downtrend on the US dollar index, which is the same analysis as I would do on the US dollar, on the DXY and all the US dollar pairs themselves. So analyzing the US dollar index literally tells me what to do on the euro dollar, the pound dollar, the Aussie dollar, the Kiwi dollar, the dollar CAD, and the dollar Swiss. I don't include gold in there because gold doesn't always follow the dollar index. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And then also you get your risk on, risk off currencies like the yen pairs, the Aussie pairs, and the Kiwi pairs. That definitely affects those pairs also, the US dollar analysis. So the US dollar index tells you what to do on all six of these pairs. Plus, it gives you a pretty good hint about what to do on the risk on, risk off currencies like the Aussie, yen, Kiwi. So just this one analysis tells you what to do on many, many, many of these dollar pairs, which is great. So, anyways, yeah, well, I would kind of expect there's a pretty good chance the U.S. dollar is going to go up probably for quite a while for a wave C, probably until about the end of August. Now, what I like to do is when I come up with my analysis, right, I'm like, okay, well, this is likely about how long it's going to take. That puts us until September 1st, roughly. And then I like to go to my news calendar. I use forex Factory, but you can use whatever you want. And then I like to look at the news calendar and I ask myself, okay, my technical analysis has us going out until sometime around the beginning of September, give or take a week or so. Is there a big news event near the beginning of September or the end of August that would possibly cause a big, big turn on the US dollar index? Which honestly, I don't really know if there is or not. This is the first time I've looked this far ahead. So I'm pretty sure that interest rate news is near the beginning of September, isn't it? When is that? Oh, it's September 17th. That's a little bit farther out than I would like to see it because we forecasted the beginning of September. That's September 15th or 17th. So that's a little bit later than I would like to see. So do we have another big news event around the beginning of September? We got CPI on the 11th of September. That's definitely a pretty decent one. Not really anything too special. We got non-farm payroll on the September 5th. So maybe non-farm payroll is what's going to do it. The non-farm payroll numbers last month actually caused a really big turn in the market. So maybe non-farm payroll this month will also cause a really big turn in the market. So that brings us out till September 5th. So my forecast is that the dollar is going to likely be in an uptrend until sometime around the end of August to probably like the end of the first week of September, like around September 5th area, which is quite a while away. I mean, what is it now? It's August 20th, so 1, 2, maybe 3 weeks of uptrend on the U.S. dollar pairs. Now that I know that information, I'm going to start taking requests. I see most of the requests are dollar pairs anyways, but the first request is the pound yen, which I'll start there because that was the first one in. And then we'll go from there. So if you have any requests, definitely put them in the chats. Be more than happy to look at anything you want. Not really too big of a deal. Yeah, the pound yen, boy, that has been a pretty. It actually made a pretty nice move today. Yeah, it did make a pretty decent move today. The pound made a pretty good move today. I didn't trade the pound yen or the pound dollar. I traded the euro pound today, and I also traded the pound CAD, which definitely turned out to be pretty decent trades for sure. I think the pound CAD has the potential of making a pretty decent move down. But the pound yen was also a pretty decent move. Now, one thing I have to say about the pound yen is the first thing I always do is I always go up to the extreme high time frames because these extreme high time frames are the time frames that are going to tell you the correct story. Sometimes what you see on even the 4 hour or the 1 hour time frame can be very, very deceiving. It can be telling you a false story. So the weekly time frame is what I think is telling the correct story, which is that I do still think that the pound yen needs to go up to at least the 202 area and maybe even higher. We have a little bit of a double top right here, which is probably why it's going down. Plus, there's obviously some pretty big resistance here, the pretty big resistance there. We had a rally base rally right here, so there was some pretty big resistance there. The spike right here was pretty big resistance. So obviously, this is a very important area in the past, which normally means it's a pretty important area in the future. You just got to be careful with support and resistance. Kind of the lesson that I always learned from my mentor was, support and resistance does work, but usually around the fourth or so time, that's when it will usually break. So you had one there, you had one there, one there. This is potentially the fourth or the fifth time that this resistance has been hit. What does that mean? That means there's a good chance that this might go up and it might take out that high. It maybe hit the 78% or so. I still think that we're in a wave B. I think this is one, two, three up for W. I think this is one, two, three down for X. It might not be actually. It might be a regular flat, but because this is more of a five-way pattern right here, so it's kind of like a 3-3-5 pattern, which isn't a WXY, but it's definitely still a pretty recognizable pattern. So yeah, starting yesterday, I was recommending shorts. Was there a short on this today? Oh yeah, there was. It just wasn't that great of a short. I remember making my video this morning and saying that this looks like a possible three-way pullback. It's just really steep, but yeah, that was definitely a pretty good pullback. Yeah, I'll take a look at that for you again, Billy. Not a problem. The pound Aussie and the Euro Aussie. Those pairs are kind of interesting to me because I could picture them just continuing the monthly, weekly time frame uptrend. But then you look at them on like the 4 hour and you're like, oh, that thing's going to go down for a big wave C, which would last weeks if that's the case. So, anyways, the move down on the pound yen, I think, is likely going to be a pullback to the uptrend. I think it's likely going to end up doing something like this and going up again. But more than likely, it's going to take, several days for this pullback to play out. So potentially you are going to see more sorting opportunities over the next few days, especially if you're patient enough to wait for like the end of a wave B or the end of a wave two to go sort. So we had a nice break of structure, right? We had a nice break of structure. Usually at some point that will lead to a pullback. And then the pullback is where you want to get in. That's the safe trade right there. These are the trades I always say that these are like the bread and butter trades because you have a nice clean break of structure, you have a nice pullback, and then you have a nice continuation entry. And that usually is either a wave three or a wave C. And a wave C or a wave three, either scenario should be a pretty impulsive move. So those are probably some of the safest trades you can take as a trader is those breaker structure pullbacks. The problem is you have to wait for a proper pullback. This is the 1 hour time frame. Each one of these lines is one day. It could possibly take 2 or 3 days for this thing to pull back. The problem with retail traders is retail traders are not going to wait 2 or 3 days for a pullback. They're going to be trying to go short as soon as they see it going up here and then lose, and then they'll go short here and lose. They'll go short there and lose. And then when it finally does go down, they've already lost 2 or 3 times in a row. So they're like, yeah, I'm not going to short it again. And then it goes down like crazy. So, yeah, patience is key. So the 1 hour time frame is about as short as I ever go. Once in a while, I will take trades on like the 30-minute or the 50-minute time frame, but I don't really think it's necessary to go down to the super short time frames in my eyes. Let's see, the pound dollar. Yeah, hey Andrew, how's it going? The pound dollar was already requested, so we'll do that one next. Pound dollar made a pretty decent move today, but that was mostly the pound. It wasn't so much the dollar itself. It was a little bit the dollar, but it was mostly the pound. Thanks a lot. Yeah, definitely make sure you like, subscribe. Definitely check out that website if you haven't done so already. fxpipcollector.com. I'll put the link in the chats, but real quick, there's a video here you can watch that explains everything about my membership, so definitely check that out. I'll put the link for that in the chats. Gets you access to my premium only Discord channel. I used to have a free members Discord channel, but there was too many scammers, so I had to get rid of it. Unfortunately, the scammers ruined it for everybody. I honestly have a hard time believing that this is now just going to go all the way down. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it did go down on like the weekly, monthly, like it ended up making a much bigger move to the downside. But I have a hard time believing that it's just going to shoot down right now. I would be more likely to see this as a three-wave move. Like let's switch to the different colors again because I think that makes it really clear to everybody, including myself. So you have impulsive up, right? more than likely, I would expect this move down that we're currently in to be a corrective move. But that doesn't mean it's not tradable because we're on the daily time frame. So some sort of a three-wave move, probably down to a fib level, and then probably back up again like that. So whether this is a complete trend reversal on the weekly or whether it's just a correction, we don't really know. But luckily, we take it one step at a time, so it's not really that important to know. But I think at this point, we're going to turn into three waves down and three waves up. So I think that we're likely in a wave B of the second three wave pattern. And to me, it makes sense for that on all of the dollar pairs to do something along those lines. Just a little bit, I don't know. The dull index kind of makes me think it could just keep trending up. So we obviously want to be looking for shorts. And while we're looking for shorts, if it does an overlapping pattern like this, then fine, whatever. And then it breaks structure up at a fib level, okay, fine, whatever. While we're looking for shorts, if it does this, then that's great news. That's why I always say we kind of got to take it one step at a time. We got to try to allow the market to tell us what it is that it's going to do. We can't just go assume that it's turning into a downtrend or assume it's turning into a correction. What we should do is go down to the 1 hour time frame and look for pullback entries, especially three-wave pullback entries, and just continue to go short every chance we get while we learn whether this is a three-wave pullback or we learn whether it's a new impulsive move to the downside. But either way, I definitely wouldn't expect it to be over yet. We're not at a fib level. I don't think it's over yet. I mean, obviously, there's a little bit of support right here because of this rally-based rally. So the 38%, I bet, will act as an area of support. Maybe it'll bounce there, start like a wave B or a wave 2, and then go down for either a wave 3 or a wave C is what I would expect to see. So, anyways, let's see here. I think that it's probably due to start its afternoon pullback. Now, one thing to keep in mind is actually there's some more news coming out today too. We have meeting minutes coming out this evening in about a little less than 2 hours, like an hour and 45 minutes, hour and 42 minutes. So that's a pretty big news event. Now, this is a really unpredictable news event. And what I mean by that is I've seen the FOMC meeting minutes cause huge moves in the market. And I've also seen it cause no moves in the market. Like it's like crickets, it does almost nothing. So that's what I mean by it's a little bit of an unpredictable news event. It really depends on what the notes say. So these are the notes from the last closed door FOMC meeting. If the notes are if they're talking about something that is giving really good clues about what they're going to do with interest rates, then it potentially would be a really big move in the market. If it's just a normal, notes where they're not really giving any big hints, then that's when it doesn't really do anything. And you have to keep in mind that the news comes out at 7 o'clock, but these notes are probably, I wouldn't be surprised if these notes are probably 30, 40, 50 pages long. It takes a little while for the market to digest that. One of my members said last meeting minutes that you could just put the notes into AI and get a summary probably all within a minute or two, which is probably true at this point. It probably is a really good thing to do if you got access to the notes. You could just put the notes in chat GDP and just ask for a summary, and that would probably be the best way to do it, honestly. But yeah, it usually takes about 20 minutes or so for the news to kind of kick in, for the news to kind of digest, and for things to actually start moving a little bit. So, anyways, what do we got now? We got the Aussie dollar from Skywick. How's it going, Skywick? Skywick is at almost all of my Zoom meetings. Sorry about last week. I totally, like, literally, like 10 minutes before my live stream started, I realized that I never even scheduled it. So last week, not a whole lot of people there, but that was my fault because I never even scheduled the meeting until literally 10 minutes before it was supposed to start. So, anyways, the Aussie dollar has been a little bit of a tough one, in my opinion. I'm almost starting to lean more towards the idea that the dollar index could just turn. This really doesn't look impulsive to me on the weekly time frame. It looks corrective. It looks like it's going to respect the 61%. It looks like it could go down, take out structure, start a pullback, and then keep going down. Which, to be honest with you, even though that's not the analysis I've had over the last, 10 months or so, I actually still hope that that's what happens. I've been very, very bullish on the dollar pairs. Like the Aussie dollar, I've been thinking is going to go up to like 1. 0.85. I thought the pound dollar was going to go up to like 1.5, and I thought the euro dollar was going to go up to at least 1.34. But I kind of hope that I'm wrong about that analysis because I am an American and I do get paid in dollars. So I live in Europe, but I get paid in dollars. So the more the euro dollar goes up, the more of a price cut I get. So I'm kind of hoping the euro dollar and all these dollar pairs just keep going down, to be honest with you. And it really doesn't look that impulsive, does it? It looks very, very corrective. So I still, it's such a hard pattern. I still think that the trend potentially ends here. Like we have an impulsive move up, right? And then the trend actually ends right there. And then everything from that point forward is actually all part of a correction. Like potentially, it's a very difficult pattern, but potentially we have like a 1, 2, 3 down for an a 1, 2, 3 up for like actually not an A, I'm sorry, a W. I always have a habit of labeling everything ABC. So W, 3 waves up for an X, and then now we're probably in a 1, 2, 3 down for a wave Y is what it looks like. And then this trend that potentially ends over here is either a wave A or a wave 1, and we're in a WXY of 2, or we're in a WXY of B is what it looks like. When I go all the way up to the weekly time frame, though, I could picture this thing just starting a brand new downtrend. So that's why I always say, I like to take it one step at a time. I would be looking for sorts, expecting it to do this and then maybe this. But while I was looking for sorts, if it did this, then that's not really a problem, is it? And the only way that's a problem is when it gets down here when you're like, oh, I'm going to go long even though there's no reason to go long. Oh, I'm going to go long here even though there's no reason to go long. No breaker structure, no fib bounce. Oh, I'm going to go long. And then you just lose, 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 lose the whole way down because you're trying to catch a falling knife. So as of right now, the best thing for us to do is use Fibonacci extension. Yeah, I'm gonna look at the Yo Aussie and the Pound Aussie next for Yen Berry anyway, so we'll be right on top of that definitely. So Fibonacci extension is definitely your best friend when you're in either a wave C or a wave 3 for sure. If it's a wave C, I would expect it to break structure and probably hit this 100% Fibonacci extension, which is a huge liquidity area. There's a ton of liquidity right there. So if it actually went down and took out these lows, that's probably the power that it needs to potentially go up for the continuation of the uptrend. So I'm thinking that it's going to keep going down. I do not think that it's going to keep going down today. I think it's pretty much exhausted itself for the today because we have the end of a crutch and then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. So more than likely we're going to now start a pullback to those 5 waves, and more than likely maybe tomorrow or Friday we'll get another continuation of the downtrend. I think keep these trends going definitely. So definitely looking for shorts on pullbacks. I'm not a short time frame trader, but if you do get a break of structure to the upside and you are a short time frame trader, you could look for longs at the end of a wave B. You know, you could try to go long right there. But definitely the safer trade is going to be to try to go short right there, not long down here, unless you're like a short time frame trader, which is quite difficult. All right, see here. Oh, US dollar yen is next, and then we'll get to yen berries pairs. US dollar yen. Wow, US dollar yen is something else on this time frame. Look at this. This thing, this big impulsive move down. This is the non-farm payroll news on August 1st. And it has literally been sideways as sideways can be ever since. Terrible. I wouldn't touch this pair right now with a 10-foot pole. No way in hell. I still keep thinking that it's going to go up and grab liquidity before it really does go down, but it's when you start trading something like that, you need to find a different pair to trade because that is just there's no real clarity to it. My mentor used to always say it's the search for clarity. I know a lot of people they have like a favorite pair. They'll be like, "Oh, gold is my favorite pair," or "the euro dollar is my favorite pair." And I used to be like that too. I traded the euro dollar almost exclusively for years. But the problem is no matter what pair you trade, it's going to go into consolidation once in a while. It's potentially going to spend a couple weeks to maybe a month or so just ranging. And if you're in a market that's ranging and you're more of a trend trader, that's a terrible, terrible market conditions for you. Is it going to go up or not? I thought it was going to go up this morning, even though it looks like a potential three-way pullback already. I think it's going to go up, though. I think it's not. I think this is a wave B, which is kind of weird because I don't know what's going to drive it up, the yen or the dollar. Probably the dollar, huh? Looks like impulsive up. It looks like whoops, can't draw a straight line. Looks like one wave down, one wave up, one wave down to like a fib level. It might go down and take out these lows, so don't get too excited about going long yet. You would want to see a break of structure to the upside at a Fibonacci level to go long, but it seems like it potentially could go up again. And that would be your three waves right there, one up, three down, one up. So that's my prediction on that. Whether it's going to go down, take out the lows or not, I have no idea. Depending on what time frame you're trading, if you're trading below the 1 hour, I would definitely still be suggesting shorts. If you're more of like a swing trader, I would be waiting patiently for like that double bottom break of starts to look like what you had over here, which we definitely do not have over here yet. Like that, something like this. Then you can start looking for trades to the upside. Swiss yen, and then we got the pound Aussie, yo Aussie. It looks like we're in a wave four on the pound yen to me. It looks like this first five waves is the one. It looks like this is a two, and it looks like this is a three. It looks like this is probably an A, and this is probably a B, and it's probably going to eventually go down to at least a 38% for a C, and that's your wave four, and then potentially back up again for wave five is what I think is going to happen. I think that makes the most sense too for it to make a potential one, two, three, four, five. So more than likely we're in a wave B right now, in my opinion, which is why it's so overlapping and so corrective looking. So what I would do now is throw my Fibonacci retracement on the wave down, which actually that's three waves right there. So it's probably a wave W. And this is probably a wave X. It's probably going to go up to, one of these higher Fibonacci levels, and then it's going to go down like that for wave Y. So I would expect it to go up to maybe the 61 at a 78% Fibonacci retracement before we see a decent move to the downside. Definitely seems pretty likely. There's actually a little bit of clarity to that on the 1 hour. Search for clarity. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're probably in like another 1, 2, 3. Boy, the market is making a lot of WXYs right now, I think. Most likely because it's August or it's the summer. Summertime is definitely corrective most of the time, especially August and July, August and September. Definitely, definitely. Doesn't mean there's not some good trends here and there. I mean, yeah, there's definitely been some good trends here and there. It just means that on at least on the 4 hour to daily time frame, usually you're in some sort of a corrective pattern, like a wave B or a wave two or something like that, WXY, something along those lines. All right, now we can move on to the pound Aussie, pound Kiwi. Yeah, I can look at Ethereum in the yen basket. Definitely. Let's check out the pound Aussie and pound Kiwi first. Ooh. I haven't been keeping up with my like Elliott wave on these pairs, but I'm kind of just more doing like um, Fibonacci analysis on these, which honestly it's kind of better in a way to not try to force your analysis on everything. Oh man, it might be getting close, huh? I haven't been keeping up on this at all, unfortunately. I do trade the pound Aussie from the time to time. It is on my favorites list, and the Yo Aussie also. I don't trade the pound Kiwi or the Yo Kiwi because of the spreads, but I definitely do trade these ones. I actually think the pound Aussie is the one that's the clearest, which means that we need to take that clarity and apply it to the Yo Aussie more than likely. So let's see. Impulsive, 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 impulsive. Corrective, corrective. Yeah, definitely seems like it, huh? Definitely seems like we're in a wave B right now, or potentially a wave X, however you want to look at it. Definitely seems like we're potentially going to make a move down soon, doesn't it? It made a pretty good little spike reversal today, but definitely no break of structure yet. Hey, Stefan. No, I didn't really look at the euro dollar much yet. I looked at the pound dollar. I think, man, it looks like a five-wave structure, though. I was going to say, it looks like it wants to go up a little bit more, but it actually kind of looks like it might be getting close to going down, doesn't it? Yenberry said he's got a channel on here, too, so I could kind of see his channel. That might be getting close to ending a wave B. Boy, yeah. Kind of looks kind of a messy pattern, isn't it? Impulsive, 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 impulsive. And then you got the three corrective. There's your one, two, three. And there's your one, two, three. I think we're going to go down at some point. The problem is, if I go to the weekly, monthly time frame, I could see this thing continuing its uptrend. So I still think the primary focus should be longs, unfortunately, just because it hasn't broken. And this one actually still looks like a wave three, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would still have to be bullish for now. The problem with these pairs is I really think we're in a wave three on the monthly. I think the Yo Aussie, the Pound Aussie is in a wave three. I think the Pound Cat is in a wave three. And there's another one too, I think. Yeah, the Yo Kiwi I think is in a wave three, and I think the Yo Kiwi and the Pound Kiwi also in a wave three. So I'm pretty bullish on these pairs. This is the difficulty arrives a lot because the monthly weekly I'm extremely bullish. I go down to the 4 hour time frame, I could come up with a pretty good reason to start looking for shorts pretty soon. So I guess we'll just have to see if the next move down is corrective or impulsive. I would think it would be corrective and we'd get at least one more leg up. Definitely seems like it. So anyways, let's keep going. Yenberry kills it on these pairs. He loves them. Cad Swiss is next, which is actually a pair that I was, oh man, the Swiss, huh? Whew. You definitely don't want to do too much longs on any of the Swiss pairs. Wow. Kiwi Swiss, that's actually a pair that I have not looked at in a very, 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 very long time. I've unfortunately I can't trade the Kiwi Swiss. It's not even on my list, but I can definitely look at it for you. I don't think it's over. I don't think the downtrend is over. I mean, it seems like shorts only still. If this is the end of a correction, what it definitely looks like it is, then we should go down to the 161% Fibonacci extension of wave one projected off wave two. So potentially, this is your wave one. This is your wave two. We're in a wave three right now. We're only at the 100%. I mean, the 100% probably is going to cause a bounce because there's a ton of support right there, but I think we're going to go down to like 0.57, what is it, 5752 area. Yeah, no problem, Yenberry. It might, maybe we'll get a bounce, but boy, I would definitely continue to look for shorts. Wow, look at that. That's a beautiful correction right there. One, two, three waves up. That's a really nice pullback. The CAD Swiss has always been a pair that I never really liked that much, but it does make some good pullbacks sometimes. All right, so what else do we got going on? CAD Swiss. I trade, my favorites list is over here. I trade all these pairs. These are the pairs I trade. I will take a trade on gold, but only maybe like twice a year. Gold is really not my pair. I trade the dollar pairs, most of the yen pairs, and then some of the cross pairs. I had to cut down the list a little bit. My list used to be the full list, like the 36 pairs, but I had to cut it down to like 18 because it gets to be a little too much. I put little arrows on my higher time frame so that way I know what direction to trade. This is a trade that I shared with my group today at the time of entry. Was the long on the euro pound. We literally got in this thing like right here. I already cashed out because it's August and I'm not really holding trades too long, but I cashed out like right there. Aussie and the Kiwi, yeah. I really don't like the Kiwi, but I like the Aussie pairs. Yeah, no problem. So that was a beautiful trade today. And then what's the other one I'm in? I'm in the pound CAD too. My original entry was like right here, so I took a little bit of heat, but now I'm in profit. So my original entry was right around here someplace, right in between the 61 and the 50% because of this area right here. And then my stop loss was above the highs, so I had to take a little bit of heat. But eventually, with a little bit of patience, normally with some patience, you'll end up okay. Let's see, what was I looking at next? We did the Yo Aussie. Yeah, thanks a lot, buddy. Skyrick. I think we're on the yen basket and Ethereum now. Yeah, we did the CAD Swiss, so the yen basket, I think, is going up for a wave C. I'm not really convinced that this move down is over yet. I really think we're in a wave 4 on all the yen pairs. I think there's a very good likelihood this is going to go down towards these lows when it's ready, and then we're going to go up like that. So I'm pretty confident we're in a wave 4 right now. So the first push up is probably the A, or this is probably the B. We're probably going up for a wave C. Maybe like the 100%, or maybe it'll even go up and test structure. Give us like a break of structure and then reject it, like a break and rejection of structure. But I really think we're in a wave 4 right now. It sort of looks like a wave 4 big time, and it makes sense to me for all the yen pairs to go up one more time once this wave 4 is complete. But more than likely, the wave 4 is not over. More than likely, it's going to go up some more, which is probably going to cause the yen pairs to go down some more. So I would be long on the JPY basket still, definitely. Let's check out Ethereum. It took a little while, but we had this huge impulsive move up with a break of structure, and then it took like 2 weeks for the pullback to play out. But eventually it played out, and eventually it just break of structure pullback. It doesn't matter if it's the daily, the 1 hour, the 1 minute. You get a nice break of structure, nice pullback. That's the bread and butter right there. Definitely. That's what's going to put the bread and butter on your table normally from trading. Rinse and repeat, hopefully. Let's go to crypto. Check out Ethereum. I don't trade crypto, so it's not like I keep up with it, but I do look at it once in a while because other people like it. Boy, yeah. Crypto is just on fire. I honestly think that crypto's is due for a really, really big pullback, but I'm always kind of skeptical about crypto. I mean, like I always tell the story about how um, like 2016, that guy I used to work with, before I left the union, used to always tell me to buy Bitcoin. He's like, it's gonna go to the roof, and I'm like, dude, you are crazy. Bitcoin is crap. It's not gonna go up. That was 2016, so I've always been kind of a crypto, not like been very skeptical about crypto my whole life. I still am kind of skeptical about crypto for some reason. I don't know. Apparently, we're gonna have the digital currencies probably starting next year, at least Europe. Europe said they're going to do it early next year, and I'm sure if Europe does it, I'm sure the UK will be doing it, and I'm sure the US will be doing it also. Probably a really good way for them to control the society. A little bit of conspiracy theory stuff going on here. It really looks like we're in a wave 4 on Ethereum, in my opinion, which means we should potentially fib out the whole wave 3. Oh yeah, I definitely think we're in a wave 4. Look at that 5-wave structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I bet we're gonna go down to like the 38 or the 50%. Hey, Joseph, how's it going, buddy? Nice to see you. How you doing today? No, I didn't look at the S&P. I can definitely do that though, for sure. I think we're in a wave 4 on Ethereum. So I would expect it to go down to maybe 3,800 or maybe 3,500 and then probably another leg to the upside. And when you're talking about crypto, you honestly never know. You may be looking at this as a wave 5 and thinking it's just going to go take the highs and then turn back down. But in reality, what happens is it just keeps on going up because it's a huge, huge, huge uptrend. We're probably finishing the wave A, I bet. I bet we'll get a break of structure, which will end the wave A. Probably make a wave B, which would be a crescent to the wave A, and then probably down again for a wave C, is what I would expect. Obviously, if it's a wave B, it's going to be very overlapping. It's not going to be a nice clean pattern. Let's see. Your US dollar for Stefan, or Steven, depending on how you pronounce it. Wow, the euro dollar, man. Normally one of my favorite pairs. I don't even think I've traded it this week. Maybe I did. I don't know. I traded it a few times last week, but it's very, 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 very sideways. Unreal. When I start seeing that, I mean, I do understand that this is probably like accumulation, which means at some point it's probably going to take off like a rocket. But Stephen, okay, yeah, it makes sense. So, anyways, it definitely looks like it needs another leg up, doesn't it? Honestly, my dollar index analysis has it going down though. I would be looking for shorts right now, honestly. But I honestly wouldn't be surprised if you're right about it going up one more time to like this 1.75 area. Obviously, that's a pretty big area of resistance up there. Like I said, it's normally one of my favorite pairs, and I haven't traded it this week because it's just so sideways. Unreal. I cut way back on my trading in August anyways. I've only, maybe take like maybe 4 to 6 trades a week, maybe even less, like 3 to 6 trades a week is about all I'm doing right now. Because when these slow markets, for me as a trend trader, if the market's not trending, it's very difficult. I like a trending market, and August is normally not known for a trending market. To be honest with you, because of the dollar index, I would actually kind of expect it to go down a little bit more to maybe one of these fib levels, then probably up one more time. I don't think it's gonna go up now. I think it's gonna do something like this, and then probably this will be your impulsive, and then this will be your impulsive, and that's 3 waves of W, 3 waves of X, and 3 waves of Y. I have no idea what the DXY is. I don't even look at the DXY, but yeah, something like that. I do agree with your 175 area though. Definitely. That's probably where this wave X is gonna end. I think you're probably right about that. We got meeting minutes tonight, remember? In about an hour and 15 minutes, we got FOMC meeting minutes, which possibly could be a really big mover. Yeah, taking 10 pip trades right now is probably a good idea, honestly. Jackson Hole starts too. Yeah, that's true. Jackson Hole starts this week. Jackson Hole Summit or whatever they call it. Symposium. A lot of really big decisions about what happens in the world happens in this place. I've heard a lot of rumors about some crazy stuff going down at this place, but who knows if it's true. You got central bankers, financial ministers, people from all over the world, financial market participants. Some really, really, really big decisions about things that we have no control over happens at these summits. This is day 2 though, so does it start today? Yeah, no, it starts tomorrow. Starts tomorrow. Day 1, day 2, and then Saturday is day 3. They probably just say that they're going there to talk about the economy and stuff, but really they just go there and probably drink and do drugs and have a good time. So, anyways, yeah, PMI is tomorrow, so that's probably a pretty good news event. What do we have for the dollar the rest of this week? Today's the 20th. We got unemployment tomorrow for the dollar, a bunch of PMI news, and then Friday we got Powell talking. I definitely am gonna want to see what Powell's gonna say on Friday. There's a lot of rumors going on about the new Fed chair taking, new Fed chair coming in, even though Powell's term doesn't end until next year, I think, right? Or a couple years or something. It's definitely not over yet. Anyways, yeah, that's a tough one. Let's see. I already did the pound Aussie. I might have missed gold. Let's take a look at gold, and then we'll look at the S&P 500 for Joseph. Oh, gold did turn up. I bet that's going up. Gold has actually been a very rangy market too lately. Gold is a favorite pair for a lot of people because it moves a lot of pips. But boy, this thing has been in a very, very sideways range. Yeah, you definitely could be right, Joseph, for sure. It's probably going to go up. I've been saying for the last couple of days that it seems like we should get one more leg up on gold. Definitely seems like it should to me. I'm not a gold trader because I'm from America, and in America you cannot trade gold on a forex margin broker. So I never traded gold until about 2 years ago. And honestly, I'm not even now that I can trade gold. I really don't like gold. For some reason, I just am not a big fan of gold. I don't really trade any commodities or anything, anyways. But I would be looking for logs. I think it's going up. Oh, I deleted all my fibs. It looks like it could close engulfing up today too. So why do I have so many fib levels on here? Let's see. Get rid of some of these things. Oh, it's because it wasn't on the 1 hour. Here we go. Nice 61% fib bounce. It's trying to break structure right now. So yeah, I think I would have to call this a wave A. I would have to call this a wave B. Oops, I got it on highlighter. So I would have to call this a wave A. I would have to call this a wave B, and I would expect us to probably do something like what happened over here for a wave C. I like changing colors and drawing them out. I think it makes it really easy for people to visualize, right? Because you got impulsive, and then you have impulsive A, impulsive C. I kind of like it for myself too. It makes it easier to see. My old mentor used to always say the only indicator you really ever need in life is your eyes. So whatever you can do to help you, that's supposed to be your eye. So whatever you do, that doesn't look like an eyeball. So whatever you can do to help train your eyes to see these patterns is what you need to do. No indicator, no Fibonacci, no channels, no nothing is ever going to work as well as your eyeballs and being able to tell the difference between impulsive and corrective. And this is definitely corrective for me, and that's definitely impulsive, which means it should lead to another impulsive to the upside, in my opinion. All right, let's do the S&P 500 for Joseph. I didn't look at the Yo Kiwi Pound Kiwi, no, but I definitely can. Let's look at the S&P 500 and then we'll go back to that. It should be the exact same analysis as the Pound Aussie Pound Kiwi. Oh, I got this one on here anyways, don't I? No, guess not. Let's see here. Indices, S&P 500. It looks to me like we are ending a wave 5, but I thought we were ending a wave 5 last time also. I don't trade this one either, but I do think that the daily time frame is very clear. Now, this is this is my Discord channel, and you get access to this by joining my website membership if anybody's interested. There's a little video here, but it's only $30 a month if you're interested. It's fxpipcollector.com. But on here, I got a tab for educational information, and if you scroll up far enough, I'm doing it right now. So if you scroll up far enough, you're going to see these extensions. Right here is what no, that's not it. That's the first wave extension. No extension visible. Third wave extension. These are all the Elliott wave patterns that I put in here for my members so that people can have it. But the S&P 500 is kind of dragged out a little bit more. Obviously this is higher, but I think this is what it is. I think it's a fifth wave extension. I think we have a wave one, wave two, wave three, wave four, and right now we're in the fifth wave extension. It seems very clear to me on the daily time frame that we're in a fifth wave extension, which is something to pay attention to because these extensions don't really happen every day. So you have wave one, you have wave two, you have wave three, you have wave four, and then you have a fifth wave pattern from there. You have a wave one, you have a wave two, you have a wave three, you have a wave four, and you have a wave five. So it looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is your fifth wave extension. So if that's true, it should go down and break structure. Powell is tomorrow. Powell's not talking today. He's talking tomorrow. This is not a speech or anything. The FOMC today. That's not a speech. But Powell is talking. No, it's not tomorrow. It's Friday. Powell's talking on Friday. So that is definitely something to pay attention to, though, is the Powell speech because there's a lot going on right now. A lot of drama going on with that. I think that we are in a big move to. We're starting a pretty decent move to the downside, which should take out structure. So I think it's going to end up breaking this low right here. 5,800. Is that? Yeah, that's 57 to 5,800 is exactly what I would say too, Joseph. You're right on the same page as me. That's exactly. If this is a fifth wave extension, then it should potentially take out the low of wave four, which puts you down to about 5,800. Yeah, maybe 5,700, but pretty close to that area. Because if you get the end of a trend, you kind of need to have a break of structure. That's your wave four break of structure. So this could possibly do this, and then do that, and then eventually, 6 months from now, 6 months from now, potentially we get a big push to the upside, maybe more than 6 months. Yeah, I don't know. I've never. Can you buy the VIX? I've never even traded any of that stuff. I'm sure you can. Yeah, look at it. Probably gonna go up. It's probably gonna spike up to here someplace, isn't it? You bought some yesterday. Nice. Yeah. I've never bought any stocks or anything like that, so I've never done that personally. But there's nothing wrong with it. That's for sure. Uh, SPY. Yeah, I did the SPY. Let's see, Jackson Hole. I think the pound kiwi and the what's NEM? Do I have that on here? I feel like I've looked at that before. NEM. I feel like I've already looked at that. And uh, oh, you made a lot of money on that? Hell yeah, buddy. I love to hear that. That's sweet. What's the what's the ticker for it? Is it NEM? Is it a cryptocurrency or is it a stock or what? Oh, I got a whole no list here. NEM. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh yeah, I remember now. That was a while ago too, wasn't it? So I would definitely throw my Fibonacci extension on here. Ooh, we're past 100%, which means it's probably a wave three. I bet it's not an ABC. I bet it's a one, two, three. So I would obviously call this either an A or a one. I would call this either a B or a two, and I would say we're either in a three or a C. The fact that it blew past 100% without even hardly looking back makes me think that it's a one, two, three. If it's a one, two, three, it should hit the 161.8, which is right around 84 to $85. So I think this is going to go up probably to this support area up here. Yeah, I think 84, $85, someplace in there. Someplace probably between like 82 and 86, someplace in there would be what I target. This is the weekly time frame, but yeah, I would definitely still continue to be bullish for sure. Boy, it looks like it's going up right now, honestly, doesn't it? That looks like a perfect little one, two, three-way pullback right there. I bet it's going to go up and take out this high today, in the next couple of days at least. Nice. That's a sweet run right there. What is this pair? Any New Mount Corporation? Is this the mining company, the gold mining company or whatever? Mining, yeah, it's a mining company. That's awesome. Gold mining stocks. I heard another YouTuber a long time, like months and months ago, talking about gold mining stocks and how they were a good investment because of gold being so high. Everybody wants to mine as much gold as heavenly as they can possibly get a hold of. Yeah, I can look at that in a minute. We're getting low on time, so but I think we're in a wave three on the Kiwi, but we are definitely at a pretty important area. So it might be due for a pullback, but there is absolutely no reason whatsoever to think that this trend is over. Even if it does start to move to the downside, the first thing I would do is sell my Fibonacci retracement out here and look at it as a possible pullback within an uptrend. So I would definitely continue to be very, very, very bullish on that. I think the pound Kiwi is the same. I don't know. I mean, like I said, it could make a big pullback. So if we see a break of structure, then yeah, we definitely want to start looking for sorts. But as of right now, I would do my Fibonacci retracement from here to here, and we would look for a three-way pullbacks. So it depends on what kind of trader you are. If you're trading like the below the 1 hour time frame, then you're probably looking for sorts until this three-way pullback plays out, most likely. Like I said, I personally don't trade the pound Kiwi and the euro Kiwi or the pound Kiwi because too many times I've been stopped out of a good trade because of the wide spread that happens during market turnover. And I hate getting stopped out of a good trade just because the spread got wide during market turnover. So I would throw my Fibonacci retracement on there, and I would look at this move down as possibly a pullback to this move up. Same thing on this. And if you're looking for shorts, if you're trading below the 1 hour and you're looking for shorts, and it goes down and breaks this low, then that just means that you want to continue to look for shorts, probably at the end of a much bigger pullback like that. On the other hand, if it just does something like this, then if it does starts to do something like this or something like this where it becomes very overlapping, then you're looking at a correction. So far, it is definitely very overlapping. So I mean, it probably is a pretty good chance it's going to go up again. Probably the same thing on this one. Yenberry said that it hit a channel, and he's trades the living hell out of these pairs. So if it hit a channel, then there's probably a pretty good chance for a decent pullback. Let's see here. Yeah, it might even go down to like the 61%. This top right here could become a bottom. Plus, there's a rally-based rally right there too, so could potentially get a pretty decent little move for sure. All right, so 6 o'clock. So I'll do like one or two more, then we'll move on and call it a day. It's 6 p.m. for me, and I usually get on my charts around. Well, I like to say 6:30, but it's August, so it's been like 7:30 lately. Let's see here. Bitcoin. We'll do Bitcoin, and then we'll do the last one for Joseph because he's a big part of the group also. He's been in the free community for a long time, so let's see here. Yeah, let me do Bitcoin first. And then we'll look at that for you, no problem. I'll be making a video for Bitcoin tomorrow, so I'll spend a little bit of time tomorrow doing some deeper analysis. But I personally think that Bitcoin is in a big pullback now. I don't. I think it's due for a decent pullback. But I'm very optimistic about cryptocurrency. I'm very bearish cryptocurrency for some reason. I think this is probably going to go down, to one of these much lower fib levels. I think it could even break below 100,000. Maybe go down to like 94,000, or maybe even 84, 85,000 pretty easily. But we just broke this structure. So what does that mean? That means there's probably a pretty good chance it's going to start a pullback. So depending on what time frame you're trading, if you're trading a very short time frames, I would actually probably be recommending long starting tomorrow or today. Actually, it's starting to break structure, so I would have my Fibonacci retracement on the move down like this. So I would have my Fibonacci retracement here. I would probably expect a minimum of a 38%. It could even go to 78%, but it's probably going to end up doing some sort of an overlapping pattern up to one of these fib levels before it continues back down because of that break of structure on the higher time frames. So, anyways, yeah, let's check out that for Joseph. PLTR. Palantir. Palantir? Palantir? I have no. Oh, Palantir. Holy cow. Big old dip, huh? Wow, this thing is just a huge uptrend. Obviously, I would have my fibs from here to here to start with. We just made a 38% fib bounce. Yeah, that's a big dip right there. I wouldn't expect that to just turn back up instantly. I would expect it to, do something like this at least. Maybe it does something like this and then it does something like that. Maybe down to like the 50 to 60 before it goes back up. Some sort of a three-way pullback, I would imagine. That's a big dip right there. That all happened this week. Man, while the euro dollar has just been completely sideways, stuff like this has been crazy, yeah? Just because you said Tesla, I want to look real quick because I watched a I watched an article, read an article, a video or something about how Tesla is coming out with this new electric motor that is supposed to be amazing. It's supposed to like reinvent the electric vehicle, and apparently that's coming out, and everybody's saying that that's going to drive Tesla to the moon because they invented this new electric engine apparently that is like 4 times more efficient. Honestly, the Elliott wave in me makes me think that it's going to go down before it goes up, at least a little bit. At least to go down to there, maybe even go down to there. Probably what's going to happen is probably going to try to shake everybody out. It's going to go down a little bit before it actually goes up. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, definitely. It does kind of look like it, doesn't it? It's a tough one. I don't really trade these type of things because they get affected by, technical analysis only gets you so far on these type of things. I definitely think you need to pay attention to other things like earnings reports and the fundamentals that behind this. I would probably be recommending shorts for now, but I would definitely keep an eye out for a big long at some point. Definitely, it probably is going to make a huge long at some point, especially if that electric engine is coming out that I've been hearing about. That's a pretty big deal. It's like 4 times more efficient or something like that, 6 times more efficient or something. He's probably gonna put that electric engine in one of his rockets and send it to Mars. So keep an eye out for PAL. It's not PAL, but the meeting minutes tonight, which is about 55 minutes away. We'll see if that is a big market move or not. It definitely could be, so definitely keep an eye out for that. Tomorrow we got a bunch of PMI news, and then we have unemployment for the dollar, and we got PMI for the dollar also. And the Jackson Hole Summit starts tomorrow, which is kind of a big deal also. So, anyways, definitely keep an eye on your charts. I'll be back next Wednesday. I try to do these live streams every Wednesday at 5 o'clock UK time or at noon New York time. So definitely make sure you like and subscribe so that way you don't miss out on future live streams. And you don't miss out on my daily analysis, which I make a bunch of short videos every day. I do about 13 short videos every single day. So, anyways, definitely don't forget to like, subscribe. Definitely check out my website if you haven't done so already. There's a little video you can watch right here. It's an 8-minute video. Explains everything about my membership, which is only $30 a month, which is very, very cheap. Even if you, you know, just want to help support the channel, this is a really good way to do it because obviously YouTube doesn't really pay much of anything. I'm lucky if I make $200 a month off YouTube. So really, the membership is really there just to help keep YouTube going. So if you want to help support the channel, definitely check that out. If not, definitely make sure you like and subscribe to help get my videos and live streams out to more people. So, anyways, have a good evening. Good luck with your trading, and as always, happy trading to everyone.